solopreneur, you'll gain confidence in your books. And it's on sale.
Oh, hi, you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. I wasn't looking at the screen, so I didn't realize.
All good. So the question I've been asking is, why do Muslims dislike Paul?
To be honest, I'm not so knowledgeable as about Paul per se.
Mhm.
I do know that people believe that he led people astray, and by listening to the other brothers that contributed before me, there is out of belief that he contradicted himself.
Mhm.
Um, then listening to you, you brought up these verses from the Quran that I really didn't know, and I found that quite interesting. I can't remember the verses because, as I said, I'm not looking at the screen. Can you bring them up again?
Yeah, sure. It's chapter 3, verse 7, and chapter 12, verse 111.
Okay. And if you allow me to ask you to read it for me, as I said, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just listening. So,
Oh, yeah, I got you. So, chapter 12, verse 111, it says, "Indeed, in their stories, there is a lesson for men of understanding. It, the Quran, is not a forged statement, but a confirmation of Allah's existing books, the Torah and Injil, uh, and a detailed explanation of everything, and a guide and a mercy for the people who believe." Now, the
okay,
contention here is how the Quran says about itself that it is a detailed explanation of everything. That's the focus. All
okay,
right. So then we go to the other verse, chapter 3, verse 7, and it says, "It is he who has sent down to you the book. In it are verses that are entirely clear. They are the foundations of the book.
okay,
And others not entirely clear. So as for those
okay,
who in whose hearts there is deviation, they follow that which is not entirely clear thereof, seeking fitna and seeking for its hidden meanings. But none knows its hidden meanings except Allah, and so on and so forth.
okay.
All right.
So basically, you believe that is a contradiction.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then I find quite interesting because on just based on basic understanding or just comprehension, uh, I believe that this is describing what you're doing right now, which is an amazing deed by the Quran. Because if you look at it, it's saying that the Quran as a whole is a detailed description of everything, right?
That's that's
But
what it
there
says.
can be verses that if you isolate them, they might not be entirely clear, and there is people that choose to just focus on isolating certain verses just to misconstrue the message. But the Quran as a whole has little explanation of everything, so I don't see no contradiction there, just based on very basic reading comprehension.
Okay.
So I
So
think your problem here is lack of reading comprehension, really.
well, let's see. Let's see if I'm not comprehending it, or let's see if I'm comprehending it perfectly and just going with what the Quran says. So it says here, um, not that there are verses that people isolate and therefore they are unclear. It says here that in the book Allah sent down to you, in it are verses that are entirely clear. They
Yeah.
are the foundations of the book.
Okay.
And others not entirely clear. So that
Yes.
it has nothing to do with people twisting it or misunderstanding it. No, there are
No,
verses
but it
that are
doesn't.
entirely
But
clear, and there are verses
yeah,
that
but
are not
also,
entirely clear.
but also, it doesn't entail that makes it not not a detailed explanation of everything. That, like, I mean, if you comprehend English, that this doesn't mean that this doesn't debunk the part of being a detailed explanation of everything. I mean, I
Okay,
don't know where you get that from.
so so
I'm
so
just trying to understand.
let's talk
You understand?
let's talk through it. Let's talk through it together. If something is not entirely clear, Is it a detailed explanation of everything if it's not entirely clear?
No, but if a part of something, which is what is stating there, is not entirely clear, it doesn't mean that the something as a whole is not an explanation of everything.
It
'Cause
does,
the base,
because if there's
no,
a verse, if within the
but
verse,
logic. Let's
if
be
the verse,
honest. If you're not gonna be
if the
honest,
verse,
as you do,
if the
feel
verse
free to
here,
remove me. I
right
need
here.
a little bit of honesty, dude.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. I know. I feel like we could work through it. I'm not gonna remove you yet. I feel like we could work. I could work with you probably, hopefully. Is if a verse is not entirely clear, if there's some ambiguity to the verse, then that
Yes.
means that it's not fully explained, right? It's not.
The verse, but the verse, but not the Quran as a whole. Because the first thing you said is that
I
it
didn't say
said
the
that the
Quran as
Quran
well,
is an
brother. I didn't say
no,
the
because
Quran as
no,
well. It
no,
says,
no. Well, I'm talking about the Quran verses that you're talking about. Yeah, the first verse you spoke about is saying that the Quran as a whole is a detailed explanation of everything.
yeah,
The
that's what
second
the
verse
Quran
is
says.
just talking about, or it's just talking about verses, just only verses, isolated verses,
Right. So,
which
then
like,
that means that the Quran is not a detailed explanation of everything if it has things in it that are unclear and ambiguous, right?
dude, if those things are isolated, but if you have the Quran as a whole, it's
Does it
still
say
an explanation
isolated?
of everything. Was
Okay.
that? It's talking about verses, so that means isolation. I mean, let's
My
be
friend,
honest. I just want you to be
my
honest. I'm
friend,
just
just stop, please. If something is a detailed explanation of everything, will it have it? Like, for example, if I had a cookbook,
yes,
right?
yes,
And I said, this cookbook is a detailed explanation of everything.
yes,
But then you go into the cookbook and you see that there are some recipes that are pretty clear. And then there's another recipe that's not entirely clear. It's not detailed. It's not
yeah.
clear.
But then,
It's ambiguous.
if
So
in
is
between
the cookbook,
recipes, listen, no, listen.
is the
Are we having a
cookbook
conversation?
detailed about everything? If it has things that
Okay,
are ambiguous.
my answer is between recipes there is explanations, okay,
Where?
that
Where?
clarify
Where?
the no if it's between verses, okay, the recipes are verses. If between recipes there is explanations that clarify that what you might misunderstand from one recipe to
So,
another,
okay, got it.
that's our explanation for everything.
I got you. Very good. So let's actually put this to the test, guys, because let's put this to the test. He's saying that, maybe there would be a verse that's unclear, but another verse in the Quran will clarify it and explain it, right? That's what you're saying, right?
No, what I'm saying is that the whole context
What?
will the whole context of the Quran will explain it.
I think that's exactly what I just said.
No, that's the one you said. You said a verse. I said the whole context. That's two different things.
Okay. So that's what I want you to do. I want you, because you're saying that the Quran itself will be able to explain this. I'll allow it. I'm going to read you one verse. And I want you to be able to tell me what is happening in this verse from the Quran. Okay? Fair enough? You can use whatever verse, any chapter in the Quran, anything, wherever you
Was
can
that?
find it in the Quran, wherever it may have an answer. I would like for you to use it to your best of your ability. You have,
To be honest,
whatever.
I mean, let's be honest with you. As I told you, I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm in just
I'm gonna
headphones.
read it. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, but like you want me to find something, I cannot find it. I'm not having it, unfortunately. I was just, even my conversation
the
is
internet.
based.
I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you. I have the computer at my disposal. Whatever you want me
Yeah,
to
but
search up, I'll help.
yeah, but at the same time, you're like, listen, you're trying to debug me.
So
I'm not
read the
gonna
verse.
trust you on it.
No,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
gonna read
trust
the
you
verse.
on it
Well,
because
I
you've
don't
been
care what you trust.
honest.
I don't care what you trust. I'm gonna
Yeah,
read you.
and I don't care what you tell me because you're a very dishonest person.
Mute up. Let's see what you get. So tell me the answer to this.
I'm out. I cannot
Glorify
with the
me.
dishonesty. You saw this on.
Please mute up and wait for your verse to be read.
I'm out.
Wait, okay, I'll just put you down and just bring you up when I'm done. All these, you guys are just going straight in panic mode. You don't got to go straight into panic mode. Don't go straight into panic mode. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Glorified be he who carried his servant by night from, and he ran away, guys. The coward. The coward ran away. The absolute coward panicked and ran away because he sees the contradiction and he can't deal with it. I'll wait to use this for somebody else. Just in case another Muslim comes up with a dumb explanation, denial, and dishonesty, I'll save this for you. All right? I'll save that for you. Cowards. All right, let's see here. What up, Rise? Rise, you there? Sorry about that, guys. So once again, my Wi-Fi just randomly shut down on me. I don't get it. I don't know what the problem is, yeah? All right. Asif. Asif, it says that your name is Tony.
Hello.
Is your name Tony? It is hardwired, guys. It's literally connected to my router. The Wi-Fi is directly connected to my router, but it's the Wi-Fi that actually shut down. Like the Wi-Fi, just like yesterday, cut. I don't know what's the issue there. I got to call the people. Is your name Tony, Asif?
No, my name is Asif.
Why does it say like you authenticated with Facebook? Your name's Tony Stank on Facebook.
That's a pseudonym.
That's a what?
That's a pseudonym.
Were you here yesterday?
Yeah, you banned me, I guess.
Yeah, and you came back on an alternate account.
Yeah.
So why did you come back on an alternate account if I banned you?
No, I was meaning to ask you why you banned me.
Because you're dishonest and wasting my time.
I just wanted you to clarify how I was so. I wanted to understand. I did not mean
No, you didn't.
anything.
You didn't want to understand anything. You're playing games. You know, you're
I'm
playing
sorry
dumb.
you felt that way, but I was really not trying to. I've always tried to strive for the truth.
Oh, that's not what I picked up from our experience.
Again, I'm sorry for if you felt that way, but my intention, as I'm telling you now, I always try to strive for the truth.
Well, that's good. So continue to strive for the truth, bro. But you know, I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to talk to you about.
Can you please at least clarify what I was dishonest about?
No, you could just rewatch it and probably take it from there. I mean, the live is up. It's up. It's on the channel. If you want to go ahead and rewatch that and see where I called you dishonest, it's right there. I called it out, and you can go ahead and maybe self-reflect and maybe try to do better in conversations in the future with other people. Maybe something
Can
like
we
that.
try one last time?
No,
Okay,
take care of yourself.
goodbye.
Rise, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yo, man, bro, I've been losing sleep trying to because it's like 1 a.m. over here. I was waiting for you to start a stream, but you were just not for like a week, and so you weren't here.
Yeah, I was out of town with some Daif Wi-Fi, dude.
Damn, bro, that sucks. I mean, I'm glad you're back. That's what matters.
Yeah, I'm back home now though. But I mean, the Wi-Fi here is tripping too. I don't know. I just can't. I can't get no
Yeah.
luck, man. I just can't win, man.
Yeah, I can see that. The moment I came in, it's just it glitched for some reason. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, how are you, dude? You good?
Man, I've been reading the Gospel of Matthew, and I already have loads of questions.
Okay.
But something that I'm sure is that the Quran has some literal contradictions that you can use all the contextual variants that you want, the variables, I mean, and you still wouldn't be able to explain it, you know. That's my observation of the Quran, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's quite clear, but I wanted to ask one question so that I can continue. Do you believe that the Bible has been changed over time?
No, I do not. I do not believe. So when I say that, I mean that the theology and the message of the New Testament has been preserved for 2,000 years. Now, we do have manuscripts that have textual variants here and there. Textual variants that don't matter, some variants that, you do got to address, but they don't, none of them affect the message and the theme of the New
Like
Testament.
the core of Christianity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we look at, as Christians, that's how we look at preservation.
Okay, I see you. I would recommend for you to watch a series called Nothing Fails Like Bible History. I don't know if you ever watched.
Mm-mm.
No, I would recommend because it would sharpen you as well, and maybe you might find some contradictions. I don't know, like how Jesus was born, during the year where Jesus was about to be born. There's differences between the Gospel of Luke and the Gospel of Matthew. I think you're aware of this.
What's the difference?
It was something. It was something that Mary and Joseph had to move out of Bethlehem or something. They had to go to some other town. Meanwhile, in the Gospel of Luke, they stayed in the same town or something. I'm sorry, I can't recall the specific verses and stuff, but I just watched that video. It just seems interesting. I don't know.
You want to look at it right now? Let's see.
Yeah.
So in
I mean, you
Matthew,
don't have to because like you might get copyright strike or something. I don't know.
well, no, like not his video. Yeah, I'm not gonna play his video because they are weird with stuff like that. We're gonna look at the verses.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna look at the birth of when Jesus moved. There's a genealogy of Jesus, the birth of Jesus, and then Luke. Let's put these side by side and see if there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, gotta reshare my thing. Okay, so we got the birth of Jesus here. All right, boom. So that does that, but where's the?
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, about Caesar and stuff.
All right, we got the visit of the wise men. We got the same thing, the shepherds and the angels. Over here, those are the wise men. All right, the flight to Egypt. Now, when they departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's go here. All right, so okay, so Herod was trying to unalive Jesus.
Yeah,
So
because
they
he was
left
feeling threatened.
Bethlehem. They left Bethlehem to go to Egypt.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Moved back. So you're saying, all right, in Luke here. Let's see here. And all who heard it wondered, and the shepherds. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying, praising God. And at the end of 8 days, when he was circumcised, he was called Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Okay.
Hey, can you go more up? I think it was there. I'm not sure. Just go more up. Yeah. Let's go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened with the Lord. So that means he was in Bethlehem when he was born, according to the Gospel of Luke. Is that?
Yeah, that's according to both of them. He was both Matthew and Luke say that he was born in Bethlehem. That's where Herod in Matthew, Herod tried to, Herod tried to kill him. Why am I talking like I'm on TikTok? Herod tried to kill him in Matthew, so they left Bethlehem and went to Egypt. Yeah. This doesn't really.
The return to Nazareth. I don't know. Yeah, I should have done my research better. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I really advise you to watch a YouTuber called something along the lines of Kool-Aid. Nothing feels like Bible history. I believe that you watching and possibly refuting those, would sharpen you as a, as a scholar.
I'm not a scholar. Nowhere near.
I mean,
but it will sharpen me in my apologetic and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And I agree with you. Stuff like that, responding to stuff like that and looking at stuff like that is what helped me over the years for sure. So you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, it looks like there's no discrepancy here in where Jesus was born. The shepherds coming to see him. None of this, as I'm reading it, looking at it, doesn't contradict it.
Okay, thank you for clarifying this.
Yeah. But yeah, send me wait, what is you said, hold on, I'm gonna check it out right now. So give me something to look at later.
Yeah. Just type Kool-Aid. Nothing feels like Bible history.
Nothing feels like Bible.
Yeah.
All right, this guy.
Yeah, all of those. Hmm.
Okay, I'll check him out. Nothing feels like Bible history. Okay. I'll
Okay.
check him out and line up his stuff. Maybe do some videos and some stuff.
Hmm.
Okay.
Now I got some questions.
Have you heard of have you heard of a channel called Inspiring Philosophy?
I probably watched some videos because I've been watching a lot of religious channels, but you should.
Yeah,
You
he is really good when it comes to like the historical reliability of the Bible and answering, these type of supposed contradictions that people do. Him right here is his channel. He's really good at that. He has a bunch of series on that type of stuff too. He has a series on the New Testament authenticity. He has a series on he does counsel nights. He does all this kind of stuff. So he really, watching his stuff really helped me and like equipping me with this type of topic. So Inspiring Philosophy debated holy Kool-Aid. Wow. They actually debated.
really?
That's
Damn.
incredible.
That's interesting. That's
100 always knows this stuff. You got the link to that? That is interesting. But yeah, IP man, he's absolutely amazing, bro. Absolutely amazing, especially when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, so what's your questions now?
Yeah. Well, as you know, I am a Muslim. I would say I am. I don't know. I just believe in a higher power. I believe in God, but I'm not specified.
You're not a Muslim, bro.
I don't know, man.
You left Islam in your heart, man, a while ago.
That doesn't mean that I'm automatically gonna convert. I need a lot of questions answered.
I know.
And I'm not gonna ask you all, like, I'm not gonna ask so many questions because they can be answered in the internet or something. One question that I'm quite interested in on hearing your answer is, as you know, I was a Muslim, and belief in God is very important to me, and that's the reason why I dug deep into the Quran and the Hadith, and I found out some questionable rules, which led me to become more curious about Christianity and Judaism. But like, my main point is, I got here. I mean, at least I believe that I got here out of curiosity and like the search for truth. But how would you explain, like, why hasn't the Holy Spirit, for example, guided some of my friends who are like very, very kind people? They give alms to the poor. They're just amazing people. Why hasn't the Holy Spirit, for example, guided them into Christianity, and they're still Muslim and they're doing amazing deeds? I mean, at least on site, at least on site. So how would you explain that? Like,
well, it's as simple as everyone has the freedom, bro, to believe and search. Everyone has that freedom.
what happened to those people then? If Christianity was never around them and not introduced,
they never heard of Jesus in the gospel before?
They could have heard the name of Jesus, but they were never curious to search for like religion and stuff.
And they're in your circle?
Yeah, they're in my circle. No, I mean, in my circle they heard, but outside my circle, like, even if they heard the name of Jesus, they will self-rationalize that, oh yeah, Jesus is a prophet, and the whole Christianity thing just fails on their mind.
Exactly. So they're rejecting the gospel. and that's on their own. I mean, even you rejected the gospel for a long time. You still haven't accepted it, but you're more open to it now than ever before, right?
Yeah.
In this journey. So, um, you have the freedom to believe, and you have the freedom to seek. Like literally, Jesus says, "You seek and you will find; ask and it will be given to you. Knock
Mhm.
and the door will be open." That's all you have to do. And so once you
Yeah.
begin doing that, stuff begins to open up like it's doing for you. You're a living witness to this, right? So
Mhm. Mhm.
once you open yourself up, the Holy Spirit works with you. The Holy Spirit
Yeah.
works with you.
Mhm. Okay. Uh, I got one more question, and I believe this is quite uh, final for this time. So
Mhm.
I'll continuously come to your stream, but I don't want to spend too much time.
Rise, you can come anytime. Don't ever feel like you're
Yeah,
not.
I'll come. I'll continuously come, but
Yeah.
not for too long. Okay,
Okay.
so my father says that the Quran was given to a specific time for that group of people. It's just my father. He's not a, a scholar or something.
Mhm.
So just a yes or no question, as you do this to Muslim scholars. As you do this, do you believe that the Bible has been given to a specific group of people, like the rules and stuff? So I just need to continue for you.
Yes, the Bible was given in a particular time. Certain revelations came to particular people at a
Hmm.
particular time. Yes.
Okay, 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 okay. Well, yeah, my father believes that the Quran also was given to like a specific group of people for a specific time,
Mm-hmm.
and though we should still follow it, but not 100%, not 100%, since
Okay.
we shouldn't be worshiping idols like Christians. That's what my father says. Um, Now, I believe that if you answer this question that I'm about to ask, um, you don't need to prove that Jesus is God. You don't need to prove. If you could only give the best arguments for the Bible being unchanged and preserved correctly, I believe that you'd win a lot of debates, because if you could prove that the Bible has been preserved 100% or at least 99%,
Mhm.
then what other reason could a Muslim give that, oh yeah, I still don't believe in the Book of God? I mean, that's honestly my point of view. Like, if the Bible is 100% true and it has been preserved, then why not believe in it? That's my. So, what arguments would you give, for example, to my father or to a Muslim who says, "Oh yeah, like the Bible has been corrupted"? What are your strongest arguments?
Well, one, I show them that the Quran doesn't teach that. I show them that the Quran over and over again attests to the validity and the authority of the Bible. That's number one.
Mhm.
Refute every verse that they think the Quran says that it's corrupted, and show them how it's otherwise, and also show the scholars. That's one. Number two, I would also then show them the Dead Sea Scrolls of the Old Testament, of how we have even Old Testament scrolls that existed at least 200 years before Jesus, that they quote from, and show them how the church fathers were always even quoting the New Testament that we have, even earlier than some of the manuscripts that we have. But they're quoting the scripture in their time,
Mhm.
right? Showing that the
Mhm.
scripture existed, and they're quoting what we have. So showing the Dead Sea Scrolls, showing the Old Testament scrolls match what we have today, showing how how the manuscripts that we have today in the New Testament, those ancient manuscripts, match what we have today, right? And we're also honest about what all these manuscripts have and say. We didn't have one guy who got together and burned them, the ones he didn't like, and then make their own.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we have all the manuscripts, whether they're fragmentary, whether they're full, whether they have this variant or that variant, we have them. We're not missing anything. I'll show them that. All right. And
Mhm.
then so that's the process that I'll go. But very first thing for me for him to, if I'm talking to a Muslim, is show them how the Quran itself validates the Bible. Like
Yeah.
so to say that it's corrupted would be going against the Quran, and I never understand why why Muslims do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're talking to your dad, use the Quran, bro.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, I see your argument.
Yep, use the Quran. Man, in fact, bring him one day. Bring him one day. Put him in the phone. We can talk.
Honestly, I can. Honestly, I can.
You can?
Yeah. Why not? I mean,
Yeah, bring him one day.
he's very skeptical of Christians, but whatever.
Yeah,
I'll bring him one day. I'll bring him one day.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Okay, that was it for right now. I don't want to spend much of your time. I'm very happy that you're bringing me here. Next
Happy
time
you're
I'll.
coming.
What?
I said I'm happy you're coming.
Okay.
I said, yeah, I'm
Next
happy
time
you're
I'll.
coming with it. I'm happy you're showing up, man. It's good. It's a good
Yeah, I
sign.
mean, thank you. I'll come up the next time as well, possibly with my dad. But please just watch those Kool-Aid. Just watch them, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm not knowledgeable. I can't judge, but when I see those videos, I'm like, wow, like the Bible is very inaccurate based on those videos, without hearing the other side of the.
Yeah. Well, like I said, also go into inspiring philosophy. Go into IP.
Oh,
Inspiring
okay.
philosophy. All right, go to that
Okay.
channel. All right, because that's
Okay,
essential, especially with dealing with topics like this. He crushes it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
One
I'm
more.
also try to find that debate too. I'm gonna try to find it.
Oh my God. I got another question as I was reading through the gospel. Can you answer it quick?
Sure, I'll try.
It was some. I think it was on chapter 15, something like that. Jesus. Also in chapter 10, I have like two questions. Why did Jesus say, "I did not come here in peace, but by the sword"? Then also in in chapter 15, he was calling disbelievers or those who reject the gospel dogs or pigs or something. Have you heard?
Yeah, talking to the Pharisees. So talking
Mhm.
to the Pharisees, those people who are supposed to be spiritual leaders and
Mhm.
guiding the people, are actually spiritual predators and misguiding the people and deceiving them. And so he calls them pigs and dogs, especially. So that's dealing with them with their character being deceitful and not handling the matters of leadership that they're supposed to handle, especially with the people. So there's swine and their dogs, and Jesus is harsh. Jesus wasn't some softy, kumbaya dude that a
I
lot of
mean,
soft Christians
yeah,
try to
like the
portray him as.
peaceful. I thought like Jesus was very like peaceful and stuff. Like,
Oh, he was, but he wasn't a pushover either, and he called stuff for what it was. And if you notice, and you'll see this as you continue to read the gospel, how Jesus is with, like, for example, tax collectors and sinners, right? Versus how he is with the religious leaders. He is a lot more harsh with the religious leaders, and he's gentler with the common folk. He's gentle with them
yeah,
because
yeah,
the religious leaders, they know better. They know better,
mhm, yeah.
and so he's harsh with them. But even and in the context where he says, "I don't think that I came to bring peace, but I came to bring
By the sword, something
yeah,
like
I
that.
came to bring the sword," right? So in that context, he's now let's go to that. Let's what chapter is that?
Chapter 10, I believe.
Let's see. No.
Is it chapter 10? I think it's. Let me search.
Yep. Chapter 10, man. You're good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah. So okay, good. So in the context, he's talking
Mhm.
about the persecution that the believers will face for believing in him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the context. And so let's just read a little bit above here. Let's start at 20. All right, let's start at 30. It says, but even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. So this is the context. When you're being persecuted by people, when they're pressing you, and you're in that situation, do you deny Christ or do you accept it, or do you like proclaim him even in persecution? Right. And so in this, believing in Jesus brings division. It divides.
Yeah.
It divides family members, it divides friends, because Jesus is of the truth and light, everything else is darkness. So believing in Jesus is not, it's not, a peaceful thing. It brings division. So this is what he says, 34. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to earth. I have come not to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set man against his father, a daughter against her mother, daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemies will be those in his own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it. And whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. All right. Whoever receives you receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. So, right here, the division, the sword that he's bringing, that sword of division, that sword of truth that divides light from darkness, truth from falsehood. And even in households, you know how it is, especially as a Muslim. If you're a Muslim and you believe in Jesus, you'll be excommunicated from the family a lot of times, unfortunately. So that's how it is. So that's what he's talking about. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, bro.
I'll see you.
Take care of yourself, okay?
All right. See you, bro.
All right, peace. Okay. How you doing? You Muslim?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, if you hear noises, apologize, because right now I'm just walking.
I can't really understand what you're saying. Can you get somewhere where you're inside, maybe?
Yeah, now I'll be inside in about maybe 5 minutes or 10.
All right, I'll try to hold out.
Okay.
Okay, if you are a Muslim and you're watching this and you would like to join up, come on up. Come on up and join the conversation. The link is right there. Muslims only. If you are a Muslim, you are welcome to join the platform. Okay. I saw my brother Hunter trying to get up. What's up, Hunter? Robert Warren, you have to connect your device. You got to connect your camera or whatever it is. Lana Logic stopped coming, but she started showing up on TikTok, though. That's right. Lana Logic started showing up on TikTok, ladies and gents. Lana Ta'ala. She goes by Lana Logic now. It's so funny. All right, there we go. What's up, Robert?
So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So why do Muslims dislike Paul, man?
I don't know. I don't think Muslims dislike Paul. So I don't understand where you kind of get that from.
Well,
we believe that Paul just the translation from the Greek, from the Latin to the English, that people who translated what Paul said made mistakes. And so there's certain verses and certain things, but there's a lot of truth to what Paul has written in books in the Bible.
So you do believe Paul taught the truth?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe then that Jesus is Lord and who died by crucifixion and rose again on the third day, as what Paul says?
No, I don't believe that.
But you just said that Paul teaches truth.
I said a lot of what Paul said, a lot of what's been said in the Bible has been misinterpreted.
Okay, so do me a favor.
A lot of stuff is lost in translation.
Okay. I want to show you
That's
something.
just like common sense, translation.
Okay. So I want you to interpret this for me. Okay. Let's go ahead and put it on the screen here. The Bible verse on the left, Romans 10:9. Are you able to see it?
Uh,
Or let me make it bigger.
man,
Is that better?
stop, man. Shell, stop calling me. Hold on.
Yeah, tell them to stop calling you, man. You busy.
No, she keep calling me, man. She's like one of those women that I don't want to stop calling when she's like, you gotta answer me. For the eyes have seen your salvation. Starvation? Is that starvation or salvation? Salvation that you have prepared in the presence
Over here to the left. Verse
of
9.
verse 9.
Romans 10:9.
Verse 9. Because if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved.
So do you think that that's
Nah,
pretty?
I don't believe that. And neither do the Jews in Jerusalem.
Okay. So, but this is Paul teaching this. And
I don't believe God had a
said that,
son that was cursed and crucified for my
but you
sins.
said that
And neither would I want
you said
God's
that
son
Paul
to be
taught. Hold
cursed
on,
and crucified for my sins.
Robert. You said
I
that
would never want God's son to be cursed and
Paul
crucified.
dude, you're talking over me, dude. Stop it. You said that Paul taught true teachings. So right here, I just wanted to show you something that Paul taught that's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. It's nothing confusing. So, do you affirm this that Paul taught clearly? Go ahead, you can speak. Go ahead, Robert.
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Michelle, why is she doing that when I ask you not to say
All right. Let's bring up somebody else. Hadi, are you a Muslim? Jason, you oh man, she keep calling me. She keep calling me, man. Oh, that's funny. Shout out Jason, man. Oh, that's funny. Hadi, are you there?
Hello?
How you doing? Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, I'm Muslim. I just want to let you know it's a bit noisy. I don't know if that's okay with you.
It depends on how noisy. I'll let you know if it's bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm asking, why do Muslims dislike Paul?
Why do Muslims dislike Paul? Oh, I didn't know that was part of the stream, but I've heard some arguments. I just don't know like what the claim of that argument is. I personally don't use that argument in my philosophy.
Okay,
But
so you don't
if it's
reject
okay
Paul?
with you, I had some questions.
I hold on. So you don't reject Paul?
I mean, I reject Christianity as a whole, not Paul specifically.
You reject Christianity as a whole, so you believe that Paul was a false teacher.
It's a bit complicated.
So help me. Like, was Paul a false teacher or not?
Well, I'm not completely certain about Paul specifically, but I know that according to Islam, Jesus himself, he wasn't obviously he wasn't divine. He was a prophet, but he had disciples, and those disciples were among the most righteous. So I don't know if Paul is among those, but I know like the other disciples, like Matthew and Mark, those Islamically would be his righteous disciples.
Okay. So you believe that Matthew, Mark, John, those guys, Peter, that they were righteous
Yes,
and they taught true teachings.
maybe not all of them, but at least some of them.
Well, I mean, they would have to be all righteous, right? Because Allah even helped them, right? And when they helped Allah, Allah helped them, and or they helped Allah in His cause to spread the
Yes.
message of Jesus, right? So they would have to get it right. They can't get it wrong if Allah's the one helping them spread the message, right?
Yes. But as far as I know, I believe, I may be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but John lived a fairly good while after Jesus, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of iffy to me. So I don't know if John would
Wait,
be
why?
among
John was a direct disciple of Jesus. He just lived longer than the others.
No, I meant lived after. Like,
Oh, no. He was a direct disciple of Jesus.
okay. Well, perhaps he would be. I'm just not completely educated on the topic, but yeah.
So we have their writings. We have what Peter taught. We have what Matthew taught. We have what Mark wrote, what John wrote. Do you accept their teachings when they conveyed the message?
That's where I differ. They have their teachings, but the scripture today, we don't know if that's directly from them or not. Like any Muslim, you've probably heard the claim before, like many times.
I hear Muslims say that, but that's not. You can't say that we know that it wasn't for. Well, this is my problem. Okay, so like for example, you mentioned how Matthew and Mark were followers of Jesus. Where did you get that from?
It's from the Quran. I don't know exactly which verses, but each prophet, they had themselves, they had revelation, and they had disciples and people around them.
Yeah, but the Quran doesn't tell you who they are.
Yeah, I know. But
so where do you get
my own personal perspective?
Uh-huh.
I think there's enough history to say that part of what we believe that are Jesus' disciples, at least part of them are those righteous disciples that the Quran or Islam claims.
But okay, so where do you get this knowledge from that assures you that, for example, Matthew was a disciple of Jesus?
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. I can't say for certain that it's these specific people, but Jesus himself did have disciples, and those disciples were among the most righteous. I can't say names because I don't have that certainty.
But you said names earlier. You mentioned Matthew and Mark.
As an example.
So you believe that Matthew and Mark were followers of Jesus?
If it's the same people, then yeah, I do. But I mean, we can't be certain among English names when they didn't really even speak English. So,
well, dude, that means nothing. Having an English name, Greek name, whatever, that means nothing. We know who they are. They're Matthew. They've always been known as Matthew. It's or John and John Mark, Peter, Cephas, Simon. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
So we have the writings of Matthew, which you affirm is a disciple of Jesus, but you don't accept what he says.
Not in whole.
So that's what I'm confused about. How can you say that you accept Matthew as a disciple, a righteous disciple of Jesus, who Allah helped, but but then reject his writings?
Because I don't know if it's completely his writings.
So what reason do you have to doubt that he wrote what he wrote?
So as far as my knowledge goes, I know the manuscripts of the Bible are inconsistent with what we have today.
How? In what way? Like, for example, in what way are the manuscripts of Matthew's gospel inconsistent with what we have of Matthew today?
Not necessarily Matthew, but I know in the Gospel of Mark, the ending is is not in one of the manuscripts, and I was looking into another manuscript, but it's all mostly untranslated, so I couldn't figure that out. So I wanted you to kind of help me with that,
So if it's not in the earliest manuscript, how would they know that?
because it's not written there
Not written where?
in the manuscript.
So they have access to the earliest manuscript of Mark to know that something doesn't exist in the earliest manuscript of Mark.
It's the Codex Sinaiticus. As far as I know, it's in like around the 3rd or 4th century.
So what you're affirming for me is that we haven't lost anything. We just have too much because we have the manuscripts, and then we have what is a variant of the manuscript, but we don't lose anything.
No, we have the manuscripts, but as we all know, like important things like this are kept within a tight circle of authority, and this circle of authority has easy access to the manuscripts, and they
So
can
when you
easily change whatever they want.
say that there's inconsistencies in the manuscript, like I was asking about Matthew, what gives you a reason to doubt that Matthew wrote what he wrote?
Well, I'm not going to say Matthew specifically because, like I said, I can't confirm if Matthew himself, right? Like, and I don't know about the names, but I'm telling you that, like,
what reasonable doubt? Because on every manuscript that we have, they all have the title of Matthew on them. All of the church fathers confirm that Matthew wrote Matthew. Luke wrote Luke, Mark wrote Mark, John wrote John for 2,000 years of history. So what reason do you have to doubt that Matthew wrote Matthew?
I mean, like I said, there's an element of truth and there's an element of falsehood, right? I haven't read the Bible in its entirety, but
what element of falsehood is there? That's what I'm asking.
Like, if you open a Bible today, right? There's verses there, and you open a Bible from back then, and the verses aren't there.
So, are you saying that textual variance means that there's falsehood?
Not necessarily, but I would like an
Okay, so then
explanation that you can provide.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm asking you, what is a falsehood? You know, and when you mention, one manuscript will have this and another manuscript won't. So is textual variance a falsehood to you? But you just said no. So I guess that's out. So what about Matthew? What reasonable doubt do you have to doubt that Matthew wrote Matthew?
Another concern of mine regarding the Bible, including Matthew, is how exactly the Bible was canonized. Because from what I know,
what does that have to do with Matthew writing Matthew, bro?
I'm not cherry picking Matthew. I'm asking about the Bible.
Okay, so the only reason why I'm focused on Matthew is because Matthew is one of the names that you yourself said that, Matthew is one of the righteous disciples of Jesus. That's what you said. But at the same time, you're rejecting his writing. So I'm asking why. What reasonable doubt do you have? What reasonable conclusions and substance do you have to reject Matthew's gospel?
Okay. I gave you some names in the beginning of when I was brought on here, and I said they were disciples of Matthew, right? I mean, disciples of Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I meant was that these people are likely to be Jesus' disciples, but perhaps it was not actually Matthew, and it may have been somebody else. Or it may not have been Mark, and it may have been somebody else.
Based on what? What evidence that you have that it was anyone else?
Based on uncertainty, because I can't be certain that it was these.
That's not giving me anything. You being uncertain doesn't mean anything. What grounds do you have to be uncertain that Matthew is actually the disciple of Jesus? That it was that it could have been anybody else. What do you have to substantiate your uncertainty?
How do I put this? Okay, so all the information about these figures, right? Like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or the other disciples. majority of them are found within the Bible, right? And some of the church father writings, but these church father writings are also based on the Bible, correct?
No, they're based on them being under these disciples. They knew them and continued their traditions.
Okay. Okay. I understand. But yeah, I believe that perhaps Matthew or Mark or these other disciples, that they may have written something, but over time it has changed. And the
Okay.
same thing with the church father writings.
So what do you have to believe that Matthew's writing changed?
It's in so it's like it's in the single like the single book of the Bible, but what I'm asking is like how they selected like these books to be inside of the.
Selecting the Bible has nothing to do with what you just said. Canonization has nothing to do with textual distortion, which is what you're accusing the Bible of. So, what do you have to show that Matthew's gospel was textually distorted, bro? Come on, man.
In Matthew's gospel himself, I don't know of any textual distortion or
So then
anything
why
contradictory.
so then why accuse it of being textually distorted and changed when you don't
Because
have that?
it's part of the whole, and the whole within itself.
That has nothing to do. Matthew is an independent source, bro.
Okay.
Matthew is an independent source. Mark is another independent source. Luke, John, independent sources. The writings of Paul, independent sources. You know what I'm saying? So Matthew is an independent source. When you say that you have no evidence, no reason to accuse Matthew's gospel of being changed, why accuse Matthew's gospel of being changed? Because I asked that specifically.
About Matthew's gospel specifically, I can't make any claims.
Okay. So with Matthew's gospel, no evidence of a change or textual distortion, no evidence of anybody else being the disciple, but we got Matthew. All history points to Matthew, the writing points to Matthew, all of it. So then you have no reason to reject Matthew's gospel, right?
I would say out of ignorance, yes.
Well, that's ignorance is not a reason to do anything. Ignorance is not a reason to reject Matthew's gospel.
Okay.
So you don't have a reason to reject Matthew's gospel, right?
Not that I can put out right now, no.
Okay. Let's add another layer to this, bro. Let's add another layer to this because you're a Muslim. So, and thank you for being honest. We worked with, we had to chop it down, but you're honest so far. Thank you. Let's add this another layer to this, and this is actually an important layer of what the Quran says. The Quran says, 61:14. And those kids are having fun, aren't they?
You can hear them.
Yeah. 61:14. And I'm gonna pull up the other verse in the Quran. I'm gonna pull up 355. 355. All right. Okay. So look at this, bro. This is important.
Yeah.
So here, 61:14, it says, "O you who believe, be Allah's helpers, even as Jesus, son of Mary, said to the disciples, 'Who are my helpers before Allah?' They said, 'We are Allah's helpers.'" First, let me ask you this. What does it mean to be Allah's helper?
To preach his word, whatever the revelation is.
The preacher's word, exactly. So they're going to be preaching Allah's word, right? And they're going to be helping Jesus do it. And it says, "And a party of the children of Israel believed, while a party disbelieved. Then we strengthened those who believed against their foe, and they became uppermost." So the followers of Jesus, the disciples of Jesus specifically, went around preaching the gospel, and Allah helped them preach the gospel and strengthened them to the point where they became uppermost against their enemies who tried to stop them, who tried to come against them, who tried to distort their message. Allah made them superior above them. Right? You see that? Pretty clear?
Yeah.
All right, good. So now, let's go to the other verse on the right side, 355. It's going to tell us how long will the followers of Jesus be victorious over the disbelievers? How long? Right? So here it says, remember when Allah said, "Oh Jesus, look, I am gathering thee and causing thee to ascend unto me, and I am cleansing thee of those who disbelieve. I'm cleansing you of those who disbelieve, and I'm setting those who follow you above those who disbelieve until the day of resurrection." So how long will the followers of Jesus be successful against the disbelievers?
Until the day of judgment.
Until the day of judgment, my brother. You got it. So then it says, "Then unto me you will return, and I'll judge between you on that which you used to defer." So there is no point in time where the message of the disciples and those who also follow be followers of Jesus because of their message, there will be no point in time before the day of resurrection that the disbelievers overcome them and successfully deter them and infiltrate and mix the mix falsehood with the right message. They will never succeed against them. The disbelievers will never succeed according to Allah. Right?
Yeah.
So this would mean that the message of the disciples could not have been corrupted, could not have been changed, could not have
How
been
do you get that
distorted.
conclusion?
Because it says that Allah will help them and make them superior over the disbelievers until the day of resurrection.
Okay, but how do you know the people right now are following Jesus?
Because it says that Allah made the followers of Jesus above those who disbelieve in Jesus. So let's look at this, for example. Let's look at history. Let's look at it right now.
Yeah, but I believe in Jesus. You believe in Jesus.
Yeah,
Like,
but
there's a difference.
who's above? Like, who's the majority? Like, for example, what do the quote unquote majority of followers of Jesus say about his crucifixion, for example?
Like Christians?
Are Christians the majority followers of Jesus?
I mean, according to you, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, but is that according to me, or is it just numbers? Period.
I mean, numbers are not always true, so. Or it depends whose doctrine we're talking about.
Okay, let me ask it this way. When it says here that I'm setting those who follow you above the disbelievers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until the day of resurrection. So the followers of Jesus are preaching the gospel of Jesus, spreading the message, and Allah makes them victorious over those who come against them. That's what the verses say, right?
Yeah.
So if at any point in time the disbelievers successfully overcome the message of the followers of Jesus, then the Quran lied. Because that's not supposed to happen, right? Right?
Okay.
So since that's not supposed to happen, and Allah himself helps them against the disbelievers and makes them victorious over the disbelievers until the day of judgment, the disbelievers will never be successful against the followers of Jesus. That means that the disbelievers cannot come and corrupt the message of the followers of Jesus.
Okay.
So that concludes, therefore, the message of the disciples and the followers of Jesus could not have ever been distorted or changed. Or else that would mean that the disbelievers at some point actually overcame the followers of Jesus.
Okay, I can kind of see what you're saying.
Good. So this would mean that the message of the disciples and the followers of Jesus could not have been corrupted and changed by disbelievers, could not have been infiltrated and misused and corrupted by
That's true,
disbelievers.
but according to Islamic doctrine, the message of Jesus is also supposed to have a successor.
No, it's not.
Like all the there's 1,024 prophets. After Jesus, there were many more.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me even grant you that there's a successor that comes after Jesus. That still doesn't mean that Jesus' message gets corrupted just because someone comes after
Not
him.
corrupted, but I would say a kind of like what's the word? Like there's a new one, and like how the New Testament like supersedes the Old Testament, like the law in the New
The
Testament.
New
Jesus' law.
Testament fulfills the Old Testament, not supersedes. It fulfills.
I mean, yeah, that, but like kind of the same concept for like the person who comes after Jesus. So it's not like you're rejecting. It's not like you're rejecting like Moses' law or the Old Testament. It's kind of like fulfilling it.
Okay, no worries. So if you're changing, if that's your position, then you're holding the position that the message of Jesus is still intact. It's still there. It was never distorted. And then also the successor of Jesus comes and complements the message of Jesus.
The
and
original message of Jesus, which I don't believe we
Wait,
have.
why are you saying original now? Because now when you're saying original, now you're saying that it's been distorted.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about.
Okay, good. So then that means that Allah failed to keep his promise and he lied to make the followers of Jesus successful until the day of judgment against the disbelievers.
No. When the message is fulfilled by the next one, then the old one is not to be followed.
Okay, wait, well that's actually false because your Quran tells even the Christians and the Jews to follow their books even in Muhammad's time. So that's false. However, let's deal with this really quick. You said so this will mean that Islam, when Islam came, they are continuing the success. Is that correct?
That Islam comes as a successor for all the prophets.
At any point in time, before the day of resurrection, does the message of the disciples get corrupted?
In reality, yes, I would say so.
Okay. Does this verse say that Allah will make them victorious over the disbelievers and successful against them until the day of resurrection?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Does the verse say that they will be successful against the disbelievers until the day of resurrection?
Yes.
So, if they wasn't successful against the disbelievers, if there was any point in history before the day of resurrection where the disbelievers actually successfully corrupted their message, then this verse is false and Allah lied and didn't keep his promise, right?
I mean, I would say I'm a believer of Jesus too, right? Like I'm a believer. I say I'm a believer of Jesus. You say you're a believer of Jesus. So it depends on what definition of Jesus' believers is in the ayah, and then it also depends on what success means in that verse.
Did the believers of Jesus get their message corrupted? Yes or no, man?
Did what?
You didn't hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. Sorry about that.
Did the followers of Jesus get their message corrupted? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Are you paying attention here, bro?
I'm sorry. There's a lot going around, man. I apologize for that.
But are you paying attention?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You're like wasting my time or something on purpose.
No, I don't want to waste your time. If you feel like that, then I would happily get off stream.
Okay, so I'm gonna just ask you one last time.
Yeah.
You saw the verse.
Yes.
You saw that it says that Allah will make them successful until the day of resurrection.
Yes.
Were they successful until the day of resurrection, or did the disbelievers disrupt their message?
Okay. Let me give you a quick explanation, and then I'll hop off.
No,
So,
it's not. No, don't hop off.
I mean, okay, all right. So the believers of Jesus, right? According to Islam, there when the scripture of one when the revelation of one prophet is starting to like fail in like over time, because each scripture
Where
for
does
every
the Quran
prophet.
say that the followers of Jesus, that his message will begin to fail?
No, the Quran doesn't say that.
Okay, so according to this, it will the message of Jesus will remain successful, correct?
Yes.
So if there was a point in time where it was no longer successful, that means this verse is false, right?
Yes.
So either the message of Jesus was continuously successful and
Yes.
undistorted, or Allah lied and the disbelievers successfully caused the message of Jesus to fail, to where now you need Muhammad to come clean up the mess.
Okay. That statement kind of cleared up your position for me. But I mean, you're kind of looking at it as like Muhammad has to come clean up the mess, but I'm looking at
That's
it
what
as
you
kind
say.
of
I'm only
Muhammad
repeating
has to come and fulfill it, so that Jesus'
Bro,
message and all the same, because it's the same message for all the
I'm only
prophets.
saying what you said. I don't believe that. I'm only repeating what you said, bro.
I didn't say that.
You said whenever a prophet's message begins to fail, he sends another one.
Like, because each message is not meant for all of time, for all of people.
Does this say that Jesus' message is meant until the day of resurrection?
Well, not this verse, but that's according to Islamic doctrine.
But according to this verse, does it say that the message of Jesus will be successful until the day of resurrection?
Yes, and also I'd like to point out that the message of Jesus is the same. According to us, the message of Jesus
That's
is the same
cute.
as everyone else.
That's cute. The message of Jesus is supposed to be successful till the day of resurrection, right?
Yes.
So was there any point in time where Jesus' message failed?
No.
Very good. So that means that it wasn't corrupted.
What wasn't corrupted? Jesus' message?
Yep.
Mm, it's a bit complicated, but
Take care, bro.
yeah, I feel like I'm wasting your time, man.
Take care. That's a tough one. No Muslim can deal with that argument. None of y'all can deal with that argument. None of y'all can deal with that argument. And you can see, this is what I like mostly about talking to Muslims, is that it's almost like so when you ask them a question that blatantly disproves their position, regardless. So you have the option to be honest and say the truth, and which would destroy your religion, or you have the option to lie, reject, play dumb, and look stupid for the religion. You got those two options. And the way I imagine this, when you can hear when they're hit with those type of questions, you can hear it. You can hear the reality of that, right? That dimension. You can hear where they are mentally, like the choice that they have to make. You can hear it. When they say, no. No, it doesn't mean that. So they literally have like any of y'all see That's So Raven? Y'all used to watch That's So Raven? Those of y'all who used to watch That's So Raven, when she used to get her visions, she would freeze when she get those visions. That's what the Muslims go through when they get hit with these type of questions. They go through that. It's one of those. And so in that, they're having a vision of them saying yes, which destroys their religion, or them denying so they can keep their position but look stupid doing it, look like a fool doing it. And they choose the fool. They choose to play the fool. That's what I picture every time I picture one of these faceless Muslims and I ask them any of these questions. Did Allah make the disciples of Jesus successful? No. Does it say that he made them successful in the verse? Yes. Were they successful? And this is all they hear playing in their head. Well, were they successful? Did the disbelievers successfully overcome the followers of Jesus? No. Did Allah promise to make them successful over the disbelievers? Yes. Were they successful over the disbelievers?
Allah gave me face, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah.
No. Oh, man. Oh, y'all cracking me up, Moot Me Noons. The Moot Me Noons crack me up, man. You can't make this up, dog. You just really can't. You can't make it up. You can't make it up at all. All right. I have the patience and the energy for one more guest. Marie says, watching Muslims read the contradictions in the Quran is like watching an NPC glitch. Oh, man. Yeah. Tough. That's tough, dog. That's tough. Let's see here. Professor. Are you a Muslim professor?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You a Muslim?
Okay. I'm a Muslim? No, I wouldn't say I'm a Muslim. Does
Say
that
that again?
disqualify me? They're not a Muslim. Does that disqualify me from on debate with you?
Yeah, no. The link says Muslims only, right?
I said what I want to debate you about.
I don't know who these people think they are. I really don't. I don't know who these people think that they are. I don't know. I don't know who these people think they are, man. Them dawas paused that like them dawas paused like your Wi-Fi router. Really, Steve? Really? So you want to talk about mamas, huh? You want to talk about mamas, huh? All right, man. All right. Got a super chat from Amari. Appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Roberto says, like Dave Chappelle said, gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, man. Y'all killing me today, man. I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm out of guests. I'm gonna call it here. Oh yeah, the Dawas in the UK, they're weak. Cowardly, weak, all of that, man. All of that. Well, that's what it is, guys. You guys see how it is. Y'all see how fun that topic of why do Muslims dislike Paul, how fun that can be, the directions you can go. Because, and as you see, they say that Paul contradicted the teachings of Jesus. Where you get that from? The Bible? Where are the teachings of Jesus at? The Bible. Oh, so you affirm the God that we have the teachings of Jesus? No. Oh, then you can't say that Paul contradicted the teachings of Jesus then. Give me something else. So funny. But to go against Paul, they have to affirm the Bible. And also to go against Paul, they have to go against Muhammad. It's just a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. And I just love it. My style of question. Music is haram in Islam. That artist is a kafir. Well, he only put his inner thoughts on the beat, you know? Can we call that the Muslim vision? I think we can call it the Muslim vision for sure. We can call it the Muslim vision. All right, guys. You guys be blessed. You guys take care of yourself. I love each and every one of you guys. Again, thank you to all of you for the super chats. Thank you to all of you for signing up to join the Patreon. It helps with being able to do more, like go to London. I'm going to go, Lord willing, a second time this year. You know, we make it safely. Not going to announce exactly, but going again. And also going to hit New York. Like I said, we're going to be able to hit New York next month and just, you know, keep growing from there. So thank you guys for helping the ministry thrive. Thank you guys for pushing the ministry. And we are just getting started, guys. We are just getting started. Working on building a website. We God Logic Apologetics is now a 501c3. So yeah, we're a 501c3 tax exempt. So we're getting the website built, you know, going to try to get a little bit more official. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to get a little bit more official, man. More official, man. So, man, God is just doing some really wonderful things with the ministry. He's doing some wonderful, wonderful things with the ministry, guys. And you guys have been here every step of the way. Every step of the way. So, yeah, it's only up from here, guys. So thank you. Keep me in your prayers. And I will see you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow with another dope live stream. Y'all take care. Mm-hmm.